going to be looking at two different slings made by Specter. The first that we'll look at is the Viper 1-point tactical sling, and it's got the QD attachments on it, and this one is in Coyote. They come in about 3 different colors. You got the Coyote, you got black, and then I have OD green, I think is the other color that they have. But this one has the QD attachment on the end of it, and you can change the buckle on this fairly easily. If you needed to switch it to a rifle that had a different kind of attachment on it, you could get just the attachment that goes with it that would hook into a sling ring, or they've got a couple of other different types of buckles that can go with this, so that you can keep the same body of the sling but have a couple of different attachment points if you've got different setups on your rifles. But the sling itself is made out of 1.5 inch webbing, and it's a very strong sling, pretty well constructed. The webbing is stitched down real good here, where they've got the bungees in there, and got a quick release buckle here in the middle of the sling, so that if you need to get out of it quick, you can just hit that release button and it'll get you out of the sling pretty quick. Now this one again is just the 1-point sling, so it's just going to attach to most people would put it at the back of the rifle. So I've got a QD attachment just right here on the back of the grip on this particular rifle. So I always want to go that way first. Okay, so it's got the bungee on both sides of the sling, so it's got a good bit of movement in the sling once you get the weight of the rifle on there, so it can help support the weight of the rifle. But let's go ahead and get this around here. Okay, so you got when you attach it to the rifle, now it's got the rifle going there here, and you want the quick release on this side so that you can reach it if you need to get out of the sling quick. Well, actually I got it right here, so I guess that's actually a better, because if it's around here, there wouldn't be any way to reach it. So this is going to be the best place for that. So when you've got the 1-point sling on, the rifle just kind of hangs in front of you. But the problem with a 1-point sling is that the barrel of the gun is just going all over the place. There's no muzzle control when you're just using a 1-point sling, so it's going to bounce around a little bit, and there's no way to control where the muzzle is going unless you are carrying it and you keep one hand on the gun. But that kind of defeats the purpose of having a sling, because you want the sling so that you can have both hands free to do other things, either get to your sidearm if you need to switch from rifle to sidearm. So the 1-point is going to move around a little bit more, and when you're walking or trying to run or something, if you're depending on what kind of if you're in a competition, or if you're in a defense situation where you're having to run to get to another position or something, a 1-point sling is going to be beating you on the front of the legs and in other places that might not be as comfortable. So the 1-point is not necessarily your best option as far as being able to control the way the gun is going, but it as far as being able to mount to your shoulder and get the rifle up in the proper position, it's pretty easy to get it up with the sling, because it does have the butt right up here around where you're going to be putting it on your shoulder anyway, so it just swings right up pretty easy to get it into position. So if you like the 1-point sling and you don't mind the way the muzzle of the gun is moving around on you and possibly hitting you on the front of the legs while you're walking, then the 1-point sling is a good option for you. And this one, made by Specter, is a good option for a 1-point sling because it is really well made. It's made in the USA. That's one of the things with Specter gear. They make all of their stuff in the U.S. And you want to support companies that make stuff in the U.S. So the sling itself, other than just the fact that some people don't like 1-point slings, for a 1-point sling, this is a very nice sling. It's got adjustment on it to be able to get it longer or shorter, however you need to get the gun up to where you need, depending on your height, so that you can get up there and also get it to where it kind of keeps the gun where you need it to be when you got it up on your shoulder as well. So this is a good option. And for the 1-point sling, if I was going to use a 1-point sling, this one would be a nice one to have. With that quick release buckle, you can get out of it pretty quick, and it has a good bit of adjustment on it so that you can make it longer or shorter depending on how you want to wear the sling. Okay, so the other sling is the TCS convertible 1- or 2-point tactical sling, and it's also got the QD attachments on it. But the QD attachment is just on one end of the sling. The other end of the sling has a hook on it rather than the QD attachment. So to be able to attach it to your rifle, you're going to need some type of attachment down here, and I've got one here mounted on the rifle that has a permanent loop sticking out there that you can hook it on. But you can just hook the sling to the rear and then clip it into the rifle, and you've got a nice 2-point sling to be able to carry this. And now if you did need to switch this to a 1-point for some reason, then you can just take the hook and hook it into the buckle up at the back of the sling, and now you've got a 1-point sling instead of the 2-point. Now the big difference between this one and the Viper sling, other than the fact that one's a 1-point and one's a 2-point, this one has the quick adjustment loop on it. So to get it to go from long to short, you just got a loop of material here that you can grab onto, or that buckle, depending on which way you're going with it, and you can do a quick adjustment on the length of the sling to be able to get it tighter or looser on your body, depending on how you're wanting to carry it. So let's go ahead and get this one on. And this one also has the quick detach buckle as well, if you need to get out of the sling quick for some reason. But hook it on there and go ahead and make it a little bit longer so it's easier to get into a little bit. So you've got a lot more adjustment on this one. So with the 2-point, the muzzle is definitely a lot better. Come around and show you what that looks like. So now you've got control over where the muzzle is going to be going. It's going to be pointed down when you're carrying the rifle in this position here. So it's not swinging around like it was with the 1-point, when it's just hooked right here at the back of the gun. So it just has a free pivot to be able to move around. So the 2-point gives you a lot more control over the gun. You can have it here, and you got your hands free. You don't have to worry about where the gun's going to be going, so that you can move around and do, if you need to pick up some boxes or whatever to carry them somewhere while you got your rifle on, you don't have to sit the rifle down or worry about it hitting your legs. It's a lot easier to move around with this one without worrying about it hitting the front of your legs. And if you wanted to, you could always put the rifle around your back like that if you needed to carry it that way, and then swing it back around this way to get it back into position. So what it would look like on the back, if you have it all the way across your back like that, so the gun would be pointed up, the muzzle is going to be pointed up into the air, which is usually a safer position, but you got to make sure of where the gun is pointed. But it's easy to get it back around, and then to get it up to the shoulder to be able to shoot. Again, this one has a bungee on one side of the sling, so even in a tighter position, when you got it in carry here, you can get the rifle up and it pulls it back into your shoulder and gives you the support to help hold the gun up. So you with the sling holding the gun in 2 points. Now if you needed to do something with the trigger hand, then you can move it around and not worry about it. So let's go back over here. So now with the rifle in this position, if you have more time to get it up, then you can get the rifle up into the position just by moving the slider here to go up and down and get it adjusted exactly where you want it. So get it about there, and then now you can get the rifle up pretty quick to be able to move around and do what you need to with your hands while you're moving. So again, this one, it's a real good construction on the sling, and let's hit the buckle here to come off, if I can reach it. There we go. So the sling itself is, again, the main body of the sling here is the 1.5 inch web belt, and then it steps down to an 1 inch web belt here on the adjustable portion of it here. And you've also got some adjustment on this side as well if you needed to take it up or make it longer, depending on your height and the way it fits your gun. But this one also has the detachable buckle here on the end where the QD mount is. So if you wanted to switch this one from rifle to rifle, then you would have the option of changing this buckle here to be able to get a different type attachment to be able to put in here. Like if you had a sling ring or something on the back of the rifle versus a QD point, again, you can just buy the proper attachment point rather than having to buy a whole new sling to be able to get the sling to work for you. But the construction of these is very nice. The bungee portion in this one, it's got 3 pieces of elastic in there to help support the weight. So it's got a lot of give in there, but it's also a pretty tight piece of elastic in there, so it's not going to sag on you too much just from the weight of the gun. So the slings themselves are very well constructed, and I like the 2-point type sling a lot better than the 1-point because it does control the muzzle direction a lot better, and it leaves the gun in a more of a fixed position to where you're not having to worry about it hitting your legs or other things as you're walking through the woods or wherever you happen to be carrying your rifle. So check out doubleeaglegunworks.com for more information on these slings, and we are going to be a Specter dealer, so we'll be getting these on the website so that you can find out more information about that. So to actually buy one of the slings, you could go to doubleeaglegunworks.org rather than .com. All of the information on the the items for sale will actually be on .org rather than the .com website. But for more information on the slings themselves, you can go to doubleeaglegunworks.com for information, and we'll have an article on these eventually on there as well, talking about the slings and how they're constructed a little bit more. But check out doubleeaglegunworks.com and like and subscribe down at the bottom, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks.